all 190 plus or 200 plus candidates do is that they drive the interview, or they nudge the interview, or they steer the interview. So if Nitish Kumar in Bihar is changing sides, it is important. Now you have to hold an opinion no matter how uncomfortable you are. Or you need to have an opinion on Ram Mandir. Okay, so on YouTube, I'll release one technique to you. If you have to take an opinion on controversial topic, it's always good to say both sides. So far, I have interacted with around 200 to 250 students who are appearing for UPSC interviews this year. And I have realized that most of them have common problems. One of the major problems that they have is, of course, articulation. Now, you have to understand that articulation for mains is very, very different from articulation in personality test. In mains, you have 7.5 minutes roughly to write an answer. You can write pros, cons, best practice, way forward, committee, diagrams, and whatnot. But for interview, you just have 30 seconds maximum to convey a very important point. So there is, of course, a difference in articulation. How you articulate for mains, you should definitely not be articulating for interview. This is the first thing that everybody should know. But again, articulation also has certain subpoints. One of the major important component of articulation is small answers. You cannot be speaking longish answer. You have to come out of your mains mode. You cannot beat around the bush. You cannot do a lot of introduction. You have to avoid these things. You have to keep your answer short to 25 to 30 seconds maximum is what you're going to speak when given a question. So this is very, very important. This is core of articulation, that is speaking short and then stopping and let panelists or interviewer counter question you on the points you have spoken. So this is one aspect. Another important component of articulation is that you have to speak most important points first. Definitely. Now this is one problem that candidates have. They say that we are not able to recall that most important point. When we sit and the question is thrown to us, we beat around the bush so that we recall that most important point. That has to be not done. If you're not able to recall most important point, say whatever you are able to recall and then stop. Because what will happen is that your brain will release the pressure that you have spoken something, and your brain will get some time to recollect the thought, and it will give you the most important point while a counter question comes to you. So it's wise to say whatever comes to your mind and stopping rather than beating around the bush and thinking for that most important point. That is a very big blunder that aspirants who are sitting for interviews, they make when they are articulating an answer. So this is something you have to avoid. What major mistake they are doing in articulation is that they are not using non-verbal cues well. Now, what are non-verbal cues? Non-verbal cues is your eye contact. It's your hand movement. It's just your ability to bring panelists or interviewers' attention towards you. So you should have that charisma, that personality, that even if they're not able to listen you for a lot of time, you are able to bring their attention towards you. Now that can happen with the help of eye contact. So for 30 seconds also, they don't have the attention span to listen to you for 30 seconds also. So if you don't give them that hook in first 5 seconds, they're not listening to you. So you have to use your eye contact well to bring their attention towards you. This is how you use non-verbal cues well. And you also use eye contact to bring everybody's attention towards you. So there will be 5 people sitting in a panel. And if chairperson have asked certain questions to you, and if you're not taking along other 4 members through your eye contact, then you are making a blunder. So use non-verbal cues well, and it is also a very important component of your articulation. One of the major successful thing that all 190 plus or 200 plus candidates do is that they drive the interview, or they nudge the interview, or they steer the interview. So there will be certain areas of your DAF which will be very, very uncomfortable to you. And there will be certain areas of your DAF which you will be comfortable in. So you have to drive towards the comfortable area if an uncomfortable question is asked to you. So you have to use right keywords to drive the interview, to nudge the interview, to steer the interview. So driving the interview is very, very important component of articulation. You cannot really say that you do not know anything in your DAF. Yes, it's okay to refuse to certain answers, but you have to attempt certain questions that you know something about at least. So there, what successful candidates do is that they drive it to their most successful points in the DAF. So nudging, driving, steering is very important component of your articulation. And then a good answer sometimes, if you especially come from sociology as an optional, or anthropology, or anything is being talked about where data is required or some report is required so that your answers get more strength. So you have to add certain data, certain reports also in your answer sometimes to make it sound as a perfect answer and perfect, well articulated answers. So this is about articulation, and I think you should practice this. If you're not able to, you can come and meet me at Civils Daily. I'll help you articulate your answers well. Now, this is one important trouble that maximum of them are facing. Hence, I thought that I should release a video on this. Another, of course, which is a pain point of many, is forming right opinions. Because now your knowledge has been tested. It has already been tested in mains. You have written a wonderful answer, and hence you got the interview call. Now they want to know what is your take on so many issues. Issues that are mentioned in your DAF, your 7 ABCD, which is hobbies, extracurricular activities, leadership positions, or it is your state, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, whatever is written in your state, your father's state, your mother's state. Everything in your DAF has a possibility of having opinion-based questions. And if we roughly divide the opinion-based questions, it can be divided into socio-political, or we are talking about vulnerables, maybe women, maybe same LGBTQI community, or of course, defense, IR, national security related questions. Now there, of course, when you sit with me one-to-one, I can help you to give right opinions there, that where you have to go center to right and where you have to go center to left, or wherever you have to take the government stance. But usually you have to understand this, that any question comes that will impact both society and politics, you will have to take an opinion. Of course. Now there is nothing like controversial questions in interview. Every topic is important and every topic is something that you cannot escape. For mains, you could escape politics, but for interview, you cannot escape politics. So if Nitish Kumar in Bihar is changing sides, it is important. Now you have to hold an opinion no matter how uncomfortable you are. Or you need to have an opinion on Ram Mandir. Okay, so on YouTube, I'll release one technique to you. If you have to take an opinion on controversial topic, it's always good to say both sides. Now, when you say both sides, you of course escape from a lot of counter questions which will be posed if you don't take both sides. Now, again, there is nothing called as a right opinion. It is your opinion after all. And if you have legal, ethical, moral values of defending it, you should be taking that opinion. Anything that you sincerely believe in, anything that comes from your heart is always better than a scripted answer, or always better than an answer that you have taken just to please the board or maybe government sometimes. So again, you are seeking the government job, definitely. So you cannot be anti-government because you are going to be the part of the government. You are going to be the part of the executive. However, at the same time, you are not supposed to be the spokesperson of government as well. In bureaucracy, your job is to show mirror to the government so that they can help implement the schemes in a more efficient manner. So definitely some critical lenses are required, but not in the intensity of what a journalist would do, or what courts are supposed to do, or what legislature is supposed to do. You are a part of government, executive, and you have a responsibility towards making the executive efficiency better. So you have to, say like this whenever you believe that you're critical of something. So of course, socio-political issues are your issues that will impact both society and politics, be it Uniform Civil Code, be it Citizenship Amendment Act, be it Ram Mandir. So these kind of issues you need to have an opinion on. So when you come and sit with me and do a one-to-one, I can help you, I can hear your answer first, of course, and I can help you value add them. That's one. And I can help you go choose the right site. So this is very important. Again, vulnerables. A lot will be asked on women. A lot will be asked on, LGBTQI community. So recently, Uttarakhand government has made it mandatory for live-ins to be registered. Now, anybody with a sociology optional is bound to be asked this, is bound to take an opinion on this. Now, should you go against live-in or should you favor live-in? So if you go against live-in, are you in favor of getting it registered? Or if you're in favor of live-in, again, are you in favor of getting it registered? There are sub-layers to this topic. So one thing I can tell you, even if you take center to left somewhere or center to right somewhere, you have to defend it in the counter questions. So as I said, there is nothing like a good, fair opinion. Anything that you believe from heart and anything that you have the ability to defend it in terms of counter question is the right opinion. If you need a one-to-one session, online or offline, you can fill the form and I'll be happy to connect with you. Thank you.